Hello everyone, I am Erika of Beadingschool.com and you are watching No One Has to Bead Alone, my weekly open workshop to make sure that every beader all around the world has company. Today we are going to bead together the VICTOIRE motif, which can become an earring, a pendant, a bracelet in different ways actually, part of a necklace, whatever you wish for. Before we would start, please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. I would like to make sure that everything is all right. I see Ariana here already. How are you, Ariana, today? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Please let me know. And Janet is here also. Wonderful. Marianne. Hi, Marianne. How are you, ladies? Sunshine! Thank you! Sunshine says she can hear me and she can see me, so I am very happy then. Jessica, Sarah, Sherry also. So today we are going to bead Victoire, which is originally, let me show you a bigger picture. It is originally an earring, and it is a fast and simple motif. It really doesn't take much to make it, not when it comes to the material that you need, but also the time that you need to invest. So this is a super quick project, but you can go as big or as small as you wish. I added a square stitch bezeled PRECIOSA shot-on to it, as you can see on the top, and then at the bottom I combined a big, nice, long 8x32mm teardrop-shaped pendant drop and a dragonfly wing connector. And all of that I hanged at the bottom to make it like really nice and long, just as I like earrings. But you can do with it whatever you like, whatever your style is. In the meanwhile, also Sandra joined us, and Sherry and Kate is here, Annette is here, Eleanor, Honey, Nicolene is here. Ariana says, I'm fine, just back from a 1-week vacation with wagon drawn by a huge horse, big adventure. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. I'm also back actually from a 1-week vacation. Well, kind of a work and travel vacation, as I was taking time off from work to work somewhere else. But I also traveled to get inspired and to enjoy a city which I like very much, Marrakesh in Morocco. And Marrakesh is famous for its artisans and its traditions of handicrafts. And I actually have something behind me, just next to my beautiful tulips, that I brought back to one lucky beader from you. So over the weekend, I will publish something right after today's video, and you can actually win this beautiful handmade candle holder that I brought back from Marrakesh. There are lots of different crafts which are typical for Marrakesh, including, of course, making handmade, hand-woven rugs for your floor, or, for example, making slippers from camel or goat leather, or different kinds of filigree techniques. Silver craft is also very popular, but also making different kinds of lamps and candle holders. So this is a very special shape. You can hang it with this metal ring. And one of these hexagons, you can open it like a little door, and then you can put a candle or a tea light inside. So when you light it up, then all these beautiful patterns will cast a shade around the lamp. So I brought back two. One will stay with me and one will travel to a lucky beader. Until then it will rest here. So I'm really happy that you like it. I see some nice comments. So I will tell you more on how you can win this handcrafted lamp at the end of today's video. As always, you can download the PDF tutorial from noonehas2beadalone.com. And when you navigate there, then for 3 days, starting from today, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can make a choice if you would like to download the free version of the tutorial, if you need my helping hand, or you can support the broadcast by clicking the pink button and buying the tutorial for €5. So it's up to you. Either way, I am really, really happy that you decided to join, and together we make sure that no one has to bead alone. The last page of the tutorial, it comes with different kinds of ideas that how you can connect this motif in different ways. But I think sometimes these smallest motifs are the most successful because they leave you plenty of space to experiment and play, and I'm really curious what will you come up with during the weekend. So let's see, what do you need for Victoire? And tell me in the meanwhile if you have any questions about the tutorial, about the material that you need, something that we need to make sure that you know before we would start actually beading. In the meanwhile, also Cindy joined us. Good to see you, Cindy. Facebook user friend. If I don't say your name, then it's because I don't see your name. You need to enable my broadcasting program, sometimes week by week, depending on the cookies of your computer. So I can see your name and see your face, and then I can greet you personally. I see Cynthia also joining, and Aniko is here, Teresa, Christine and her dog Ziggy. Important, we spotted him in the reading room. Iris is here, and Reinhilde is here. And Claire, Facebook user friend, Niti, Christine. Wonderful. So, okay. I see Cynthia says that she already has some ideas. I'm very, very curious. So let's see, what do we need for the Victoire motif? This is it, by the way. This is how the full earring looks like. It's a pretty long one. I like my earrings to be long, just maybe under my chin. I'm kind of a megalomaniac when it comes to jewels. The bigger, the better. Sorry, I need to switch my type of focusing on the... Okay, now it's focusing well. So what do you need for the Victoire motif? You will need 1 or 2 colors of GEMDUO beads. So I used the matte burnt sienna and I used the Silver Splash green turquoise. And what's great about this motif is that if you combine the two colors, then from one color you need only 4 for one motif, and from the other color you need only 2 pieces. So if you have last pieces from a color, then this is the time when you can use up those leftovers. Then we also need some 2mm round pearls. It can be the true to 2mm round pearls. It can be the regular 2mm round pearls. But actually, if you don't maybe have these, then this time also a seed bead here between the GEMDUOs would work well. Then you will need, which is like essential for the motif, you will need some seed beads. I combined 3 colors of the round 15s. These are my 3 colors, 3 metallics. So my first color is Duracoat Galvanized Gold. That's also what I have used for the bezel of the chaton. Then there is just a tiny bit actually at the top and the bottom of the Crystal Full Labrador. This is my new favorite silver shade, by the way. It's light, it's a light silver, not yellow silver at all. Sometimes the silver, the shades which are called silver are not actually silver, but have a yellow tint, and I don't like that. And only recently I discovered this, this shade, Crystal Full Labrador. It means that the base color is crystal, and then it's a MIYUKI seed bead in crystal color, and a popular check coating, the full Labrador, is applied on the crystal MIYUKI bead. So it is the result of a cooperation between MIYUKI and one of my favorite check bead suppliers. And the Jet Full Labrador, it actually looks kind of the same, I would say, but the base color is black, is jet black in the middle. And so I started to use this shade a couple of months ago, and so far I have very good experience with it, that it didn't fade over time. So I'm super happy with it. And my third round 15, I used it, you can see only 4 pieces in one motif actually, here at the points, at the corners, and those are the 457, the metallic light browns. Oh, and as Sarah says, that's a very good note, that it works with all the check shaped bead. It's the same silver. Indeed, it is a check very popular coating. So when you have then the full silver Labrador GEMDUOs, for example, or ginkgo beads, then it is exactly the same shade of silver than these beads. So I think that's pretty cool. By the way, Andrea is traveling tomorrow to Jablonec, so I'm really curious what will she tell us after her journey. And yeah, the rest is completely up to you. I have here also a crystal aurum PRECIOSA chaton, 8mm, and shiny. So that's on top of the motif. And then, as I said, the dragonfly wing connector and the 8x32mm PEAR drop, and an earring base, which we added when we were working recently with the Art Deco style because of the nice geometric lines. So, any questions, ladies, about the material, about the download of the tutorial? I would love to help with this before we start. Cheryl is eyeing the Satonsai. I was showing it is a good shade. It is a good shade. There is also the Dorado available. That's another like metallic shade, but that one is darker. And I really like this Crystal Aurum, which is a very nice, light and elegant gold. So, Sarah says she really likes to mix silver and gold metallics. Me too, actually. And as you can see, I have like matte silver, shiny silver, gold, and a little bit of bronze here. So I learned to mix metallics, and I am embracing the mix of metallics. Eleanor, it's at noonehastobedalone.com. Usual way. I will show it one more time. Well, usual, it changed maybe like 2 months ago. So you can decide. Eleanor is asking for the tutorial. You can go for noonehastobedalone.com, or you can, as always, navigate to beadingschool.com and then click no one has to be alone in the menu, and then either you click support the broadcast, and that button puts the tutorial in your shopping cart and you need to check out as regularly, or you can click download the tutorial for free, and then a little window will appear where you can type in your email address, click the button, and then you can navigate to your inbox. I really recommend to check your spam if you can't find it. I tested it, so it should work. I would also be really grateful if other beaders let us know if it worked for them. So let's... Okay. 1 second. I need to check this. Eleanor, it was updated maybe like 3 or 4 hours ago. I don't know when did you check it, but yeah, it's definitely there. Maybe you need to refresh your page because your browser remembered the previous state of the page. So let's get started. I'll also show you, of course, my bead mat and the illustrations here. We will start. Yeah, Cynthia also says that it works for her. I think it will be that you need to clear your history and reload it. So let's get started. And we will start with 4 pieces of the first color of the GEMDUO and 2 pieces of the 2mm round pearl. So what we do is that we pick up a round pearl, 2 of the GEMDUOs, and then again a round pearl and 2 of the GEMDUOs. You need to make sure that both holes of the GEMDUOs are properly drilled, because sometimes it happens that there is a piece of glass stuck in the hole, and even if you manage to clean it with the tip of your needle, then it can damage your thread later. So I really recommend using GEMDUOs which have nice and properly drilled holes. You need to bead through all of them one more time, and then through the first 2 millimeter round bead one more time. So this is how it should look like. Two GEMDUOs on the top, two GEMDUOs at the bottom, one round pearl on the right, one round pearl on the left. And at the moment, I am exiting a round pearl on the right side, and my thread is hanging towards the top. Also, please make sure that the bumpy side of the GEMDUOs are facing always the top of your motif. And Elena joined us. Elena, so nice to hear you, see you. We recently had an interview, a face-to-face interview with Elena on the Beading School blog, and even something more is coming in the near future. So, do you have any questions about the start? If not, then we will continue by picking up some seed beads. So, you can pick up in step 2 one piece of the first color of your round 15, then 2 pieces of your MIYUKI DELICA, and one more of the first color of your round 15. Then you bead through the outside hole, the open hole of the nearest GEMDUO. So you're connecting the 2 millimeter round pearl to the outside hole of the GEMDUO. And now we will use the second color of the GEMDUO. So I bead through the first hole. Again, I turn it in a way that the bump is facing upwards. Then I pick up 4 pieces of MIYUKI DELICAs, and I bead back through the second hole of the new GEMDUO, and I also bead through the open hole of the next GEMDUO, the second one of the same pair. So this is how it looks like at the moment. And now, to finish off this top half, I pick up a round 15, 2 MIYUKI DELICAs, and one more round 15. And then I bead through the 2 millimeter round pearl. And I repeat the same on the other side of the little motif. So I think it's really cute. I hope that you like it. So I'm also very curious, what will you end up making with it? We are in between Beading School Academy teams, in between Art Deco and in between Tulip Mania, but I was still thinking about Art Deco when I was creating this last night with the sharp lines and the geometric shapes. The motif, it actually has a prototype that I beaded months ago. This is something, Nicolene, that I didn't slip to my UFO box when I took it to you. So this was the prototype of the motif. It's supposed to be a bracelet, but I was not happy with how the lines of seed beads around the GEMDUOs looked like. So it needed some reworking, and this is the final result now, several months later. So sometimes even the easy motifs, they need a bit of ripening until they are exactly in the way how I like them to be, how I know that you can enjoy them to the fullest. Cynthia says it's cute and easy. Indeed, So tell me, ladies, what is your plan with the Victoire motif? What are you going to make with it? I picked up the GEMDUO, I picked up the 4 pieces of MIYUKI DELICAs, and now I bead back through the second hole of the GEMDUO and also the open hole of the 4th GEMDUO. And I'm picking up the last sequence of round 15, 2 MIYUKI DELICAs, and 1 more round 15. I bead through the original 2mm round pearl on the side, and that's it. I framed my motif. In step 3, I will complete the frame of seed beads around the GEMDUOs. Let's see, what are you making with yours? I'm curious. Cynthia says, I'm going to make it like yours first and adding a little rhinestone in the middle. I think that's a super good idea. The 2mm round pearls on the 2 sides are perfect for holding a 4mm rhinestone. That would spruce it up in a very nice way. Sherry says, the bracelet looks really interesting. May try it. I'm curious, Sherry, and which one you like? The one where the motifs are horizontally, or the one where the motifs are connected vertically to each other? There are 2 possibilities waiting for you with this simple motif. And Teresa says, earrings to start, maybe a pendant later. You can actually also connect, for example, 4 or 3 of these motifs and then add rivolis in between. So that would be an awesome, blingy, beautiful pendant, I think. Ariana is also making a bracelet. Light and cute, indeed. And fast, super fast. Sherry will be making the vertical one. Oh, I'm curious. And let's see now. Oh, Eleanor says, thinking of a broad bracelet with a bezel chaton or bead in between. That would be awesome. I think also the chaton either with peyote or square stitch. It would look great. Elena also agrees that it should be a bracelet with horizontal motifs and chatons in between. Oh, I'm curious, ladies. Also, you know, it's such a nice feeling when you take the little motifs and make beautiful finished jewels with them. Like today, Donna published in the Beading School Club a bracelet version of Susie's Elizabeth earrings and pendant. It was originally a pendant, then Susie beaded an earring, and then Donna beaded a bracelet, and it was amazing to see. So I'm curious, what are you going to do with Victoire? In the meanwhile, in step 3, I went through around 15 and the MIYUKI DELICA, and this is when I'm going to make the motif look more geometrical with some sharp angles. So I pick up around 15 in an accenting color, and I bead through a DELICA, the next DELICA, and the round 15. And now I pick up 4 pieces of MIYUKI DELICA. Here I am using the same color as before, but you could also go for an accenting one, of course. I bead through 2 out of the 4 MIYUKI DELICAs on top of the GEMDUO. I pick up a new GEMDUO and I bead through the remaining 2. This is how it looks like. And now I will mirror that first half of the sequence So I pick up 4 pieces of MIYUKI DELICAs. I bead through the round 15 and the DELICA. I pick up the round 15 in an accenting color. By the way, these round 15s, they are perfect, these accenting color ones, they are perfect for the connections if you are making a bracelet. And beading through the 2mm round pearl and doing the same on the other side of the motif. Do you have any questions about this part? See, Marianne says, first I made colorful earrings and after maybe a bracelet. Already earrings. Marianne always has so beautiful colorful jewels. Annette says, I didn't have GEMDUO, so I used Super Duo. I only had to use one less bead on the side, but this will be perfect for my little granddaughter's earrings. That's a super nice idea, Annette, to make them one size smaller. And I think you're right, that just the perfect size for children. What kind of colors did you choose for her? Cynthia says, I want to try that with the bigger Rivoli in it. I make it a vertical motifs into a necklace, and I did the same thing for the pendant with rhinestone in the middle. Big necklaces are so fun. And I think when we want to bead a necklace, and I scarcely have time to bead a necklace with a seed bead chain, but I really started to like adding a chain with 6mm pearls, for example, and I can imagine that I would make a big pendant and then 2 of the motifs on the sides to make it more interesting, and then switch to the 6mm part of the pendant. So these motifs can be, even these small ones can be used as connectors also in your bigger jewels. So there are lots of possibilities. And Annette says that she's using Montana blue and bronze for her granddaughter. A very elegant color combination. How old is she, I'm wondering? I'm adding now 4 pieces of the MIYUKI DELICA, and I pick up the 4th, the last round 15 in an accenting color. And now I bead up to the top of the motif, where I'm going to attach the bezeled cabochon, and I attach it right away instead of starting a new thread and securing and trimming so many thread ends. I don't like doing that, so I try to make everything in one go if possible. And Annette says that her granddaughter, for the future owner of the earrings, is 7, and the twin and the beader. Oh, that's so cute. Is her sister or brother also a beader, maybe? And Cynthia says it would be beautiful with the process, the stringing part of the necklace, though. And you can do that with other motifs too, so it's not only with this motif, but when something small, we are beading something small, then you can totally add it to the necklace part, to the strap part. And Donna joined us. Claire says, I'm watching Listening this week because I'm frantically trying to finish off some headdresses for a show at the end of the month. Learned at the beginning of the week that all the rehearsals have been brought forward by a week. Oh, I'm loving everyone's ideas. Oh, Claire, I can just say coffee, coffee, coffee. But oh my god. Every finger crossed that you make it on time. 1 week really makes a difference. So I hope everything will work out well. So for the chaton, I am first attaching a new DELICA bead with 2 tiny square stitches. So exiting the original DELICA at the top, I picked up a new DELICA, then I beaded through the original one more time. I repeated that little square-shaped thread path, and for the third time I bead through the new bead. Now this new DELICA bead, it is already part of the bezel that we are adding on top of the earring. So what we need to do is we need to pick up 21 pieces of MIYUKI DELICAs. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. For like half a second, I was not sure if I'm counting right. I didn't have a coffee before the broadcast, so maybe that's why. And hi Marta, and hi Irina in the meanwhile. And now I beaded through the original DELICA, well, the one that I attached with square stitch, to form a circle that will be the base of my square stitch bezel. And I repeat the thread path. I bead through all the DELICA beads, altogether 22 in the circle. So I have the base for my square stitch bezel. And it doesn't matter what kind of cabochon would you like to attach here. It can be a different shape, it can be a different size. What matters is that you know the number that you need and you add as many DELICAs as to complete the circle as needed. And then you don't need to start a new thread at all. Kunal, hi Kunal. Kunal is asking, what is the color of your 15s? It's hard to see. It's really a wonderful color. Thank you, Kunal. I'm using 3 colors. So my accent color here, it's 457, the metallic light bronze. Then the color that I'm using around the chaton for the bezel, and also here and there in the frame of the GEMDUOs, it's the Duracode galvanized gold. Is my text in the proper way now? I found why is it flipped, so I hope that I said it right. And the silver one, the silver size 15s, I used only here at the bottom and here at the top to attach the connector and the earring hook, and it's the crystal full Labrador. Answered Cynthia's question without her asking. But don't hesitate. I'm happy about that, but don't hesitate to ask next time, okay? I'm always happy to answer. Also in the club, if something comes to your mind in between two videos. And Cheryl says no mirroring. I'm glad. Now, okay, I nearly started to add silver round 15s instead of gold ones, but for the bezel, I'm using the gold ones. So I'm exiting a DELICA, I pick up a round 15, and then I bead through the same DELICA one more time, and also through the one after the exit point of my thread. And this is called a square stitch, because as you imagine this thread, then it draws a square shape through the two beads where the holes are running parallel with each other. And I attach a round 15 seed bead to each of the DELICA beads. So that's 22. And as I showed you earlier, I'm keeping this circle of MIYUKI DELICAs between my thumb and index finger because I want to make sure that the DELICAs are not in a too tight circle like this. See, they are like pushed on top of each other, kind of, but I slightly push them apart with my index finger and with my thumb. Just, I hold them in a way as I want them to look like when the bezel is finished. So that's actually the trick of nice square stitch bezels, that you don't need to pull the thread too much, but you create smooth lines. You can repeat thread passes and fill up the holes to make sure that then the beads are not moving apart, but they stay in that nice elegant line. But don't pull the thread too much. And Katja is here. Oh, and Marta is asking for the color of the DELICA. And I'm looking around for my... Oh, in front of me. Sorry, ladies, I'm a little bit, I think, tired. I finished designing for you after midnight, so I actually finished designing today. So it has an effect, even with coffee. And the color of my DELICAs, it looks great, by the way, with different colors. It looks great with Bermuda blue. It looks great with orange. It looks great with metallics, with other metallics, with bronze. There are lots of possibilities with this green shade, and it's the 1846 Duracode galvanized sea foam. And when you are selecting DELICAs, then the galvanized ones tend to be super beautiful, but always make sure that you choose a Duracode galvanized one, never a simple galvanized one, because those are beautiful, but the color of your beads will disappear quicker than you manage to finish your jewel. So always, always make sure that you go for the Duracode galvanized. So, as we are actually getting close to finishing our jewel, because I'm only making the bezel now, which is not a new technique because we were doing it a couple of weeks ago with Swanee already, the other little cute motif called Swanee. So, but of course, if you were not watching that video, then make sure to ask all your questions. I'm here to help you. You can download the diagrams for the square stitch bezel as a PDF. Just navigate to the free tutorial part of beadingschool.com. But what I wanted to say, that I think it's time to tell you more that how can this little lamp that I found in Morocco be yours, and maybe light up the atmosphere of your beading room or beading area when you are working on something nice. So since we are beading the themes of the Beading School Academy, then often we get inspired by different countries. We have traveled together to India and explored the Jewel of the Maharaja theme. We stepped kind of into the royal palaces of the Maharajas. Now we are about to start the new theme, Tulip Mania, that will take you to Turkey, to the country where tulips actually come from. And what I can say, that for sure in the future sometimes there will be a Morocco inspired or maybe a Marrakesh inspired theme coming up. And how can you win this little lamp? That I will post a picture in the Beading School Club with the question that to which country would you like to get inspired? By which country would you like to get inspired by on your bead mat? Where would you travel with inspiration, regarding inspiration? So you can start already thinking, and I will post this question after the video. And I'm really curious that where would you like to go with your bead mat? Because there are so many inspiring places all around the world. If you want, you can share some ideas now, but to enter the giveaway, you will need to write a comment. You will need to write a comment under that post. And I just discovered that at one DELICA I accidentally picked up 2 round 15s, so I will need to break it. Hope I don't damage my thread. Okay. One of our Facebook user friends suggests Spain. Which part of Spain would you like to travel to with your beads? I'm really fond of Andalusia, for example, the southern part. So passionate, and the flamenco dance. That would be wonderful. And Cheryl says, I have several answers. So many wonderful cultures out there. Indeed. Indeed. So now I'm connecting the round 15 seed beads, and I like to bead all around at least 2 times to create those nice smooth lines for the square stitch bezel. And still I'm not pulling my thread too much, but instead, if I'm not happy yet, then I keep going and fill up the holes even more. And when I'm beading with peyote, then usually I start with the front side of the bezel, or even with the square stitch bezel, when I'm beading with when I'm bezeling a nacre cabochon, then I like to start with the front side. But I discovered that when I'm bezeling a chaton with square stitch, then it works better for me if I complete the back first and then I complete the front. So that's how I'm doing it. And Marianne says, Italy, Toscana, in the time of Medici. So not only want you to travel in space, but also in time, Marianne. And indeed, when art was supported during the times of the Medici in Italy, I think that was a very, very inspiring time to be. Christine would like to get inspired by Greece. Marta would like to get inspired by the Tudor style of England. That would also be a very interesting and adventure, I think. We were talking about Scotland actually today with Susie. She has some secret ideas on her bead mat that she mentioned to me. So I think that would also be a very nice beady adventure to visit Scotland. Now I am adding beads to the front of my square stitch bezel in the same way as before. So always attaching a round bead, a size 15 round bead to a MIYUKI DELICA. Nicolene says Bridgerton style. That's also that would also be fun to explore. Margareta, welcome. Annette says a Medici poison ring. Cynthia says, as I would like to go to Malta, Ireland, Scotland, and Sweden, and Finland. I think that would be also a very nice journey. With the cultures mixing in Malta, the Celtic traditions of Ireland. Oh, and Martina says, yes, come to Malta, ladies, I live there. Oh, Marta says Regency style. By the way, you might have noticed that when I'm adding the round 15s on the that will be on the front side of my bezel, then I'm already holding the chaton with my thumb into the middle of the bezel. It's not absolutely necessary and it's not fixed yet there, but somehow I just feel that it's nice to already have there the chaton, so I don't pull the beads too much, because still at this phase, as I am beading through all the DELICA beads, I could accidentally pull them too much together and then damage those nice smooth lines. Once you get used to it, then it's not actually hard to do that, to hold the chaton there. And now I can see that the line of delicas, it fits the chaton perfectly. There is no gap between the delica beads and between the chaton. Not a gap, not too tight. It will fit nicely. And I know that you grew very fond of square stitch bezels recently. I hope that you won't mind that the first jewel that we will be beading from the Tulip Mania Breeding School Academy box, that will start actually with the peyote bezel. So we will need to work a bit with the seed beads, but I promise that it will be worth it. So this is what we are going to bead first already next week. And on Tuesday, at the usual time of Coffee Time with Erika, I'm going to show you some more jewels that you can bead from the Tulip Mania box. At least 4, but probably more by that time. And I will also put together the material lists for you, so then you can already start preparing your mini kits for the jewels that you would like to bead. Last time we prepared for you, I think, at least 12 tutorials for the team. So it's really nice if you start preparing from your box your little mini kits for the jewels that you would like to bead, to put them already aside. Don't forget your ideas and so on. In the meanwhile, Cheryl says she would like to visit on her bead mat ancient Egypt, Japan, Hawaii, or ancient Rome. Very good ideas, very good ideas. I think Egypt especially, wow, that would be amazing, but also Japan. Cynthia says that her family actually lives in Malta and the lace making tradition is famous there. Elena would like to visit the Monet Garden in Giverny in France. Another great source of inspiration. Margaret is asking, sorry, are the gemstones size 5x7? You mean the GEMDUOs? Those are 5x8, if I remember well. But yeah, there are 2 sizes of the GEMDUOs available now. And these are the regular size, not the small size, but the regular ones. Cheryl says, I optimistically checked my post box earlier for the new box, even though I know they are only starting standing today. I love that you are such an optimist, Cheryl. Indeed, the first batch of the fuchsia boxes went to the post office today. So I know that some countries will already be lucky and some countries' post offices will already be delivering boxes on Monday. But recently, even our overseas beaders get their beading school packages super fast. Like several of you wrote that it took only 5 days from the treasury until the package reached you, and that was not the FedEx option, but that was the regular post with track and trace. So it doesn't take long now. I'm really, really, really happy to see that we are back to pre-pandemic norms, and I hope that it will stay that way. You should enjoy your beads as fast as possible. Zuzi is here with us also. She wanted to join us, greet us. Cynthia's package is on her way. And Zuzi says, I got my purple tulip bouquet to get into the mood. That's a good idea. That's how we can start getting into the mood before we would start beading or before before our boxes would arrive, that if possible, then we can get a nice bouquet of tulips to our beading area. So I'm now connecting the round 15 seed beads on the top of the bezel, on the front side of the bezel too. And then a quick, one more quick circle. Are you, by the way, ladies, absolutely comfortable now with the square stitch bezels? How do you feel about them? Because if you still have questions, then I would love to help. And oh, Ariana says her thread just broke. I'm sorry. I hope you can still like somehow secure it and you don't lose the result of your work. Okay, Honey says that it's a wonderful stitch, so I hope that it means that you are super comfortable and inspired by it. And Elena says, I have also ordered the bouquet of pink and purple tulips for the next week. It will be a great starting mood for the new amazing box. Elena, that's so nice. Everyone who decides to get some flowers, some tulips to get into the mood, please post a picture in the club, maybe together with your box. That would be so nice to see. And Sarah is asking, do they always send the boxes in the same order? What I can tell about it, because this part, it's organized by Andrea, my colleague, who is responsible for organizing the everything what's going on in the treasury, basically. So they always send out the fuchsia boxes first, and indeed there is an order, because we already mark when somebody has, for example, a half-year or 1-year subscription, then we already check it for the next 3 or 6 boxes that the payment went through. So that can also bump up the box to the top, but I'm not 100% sure about the order, because also then it's connected also to Adam, how he exports the list of names where we need to send the boxes. So it is actually a super complicated operation that every one of us is very demanding on every one of us to make sure that it works well. It's like very IT heavy and technology heavy. So I'm not 100% informed about all the details. But if you would like to ask, then you can send an email and ask about it. Margareta says that for her the square stitch bezel works really good, even if it's her first time. Oh, I'm really happy, Margareta. Honey is also absolutely comfortable. Ariana is not chilled enough. Do you have like any specific problems, or you just don't feel it completely? Cynthia says, I love the square stitch bezel. My only problem is that my fingers are so big that it loses my grip on the chaton. I see. I hold it only with the tip of my finger. Oh, Cheryl is advising bribes to Adam for quick dispatch. Who knows? It might work. in the meanwhile, I'm on the top of my bezel. I counted that there are exactly 10 and 10 delicas in between the joined delica and in between the one that I am exiting. And now I pick up a new delica bead and I adjust it. I add it with 2 tiny square stitches to the delica that I am exiting. That is exactly opposite of the joined delica. And now I bead through the new one, and I can now attach the earring hook. And since this motif is so quick, then I wanted to a little bit repeat some basic stuff that we have done already together, but I wanted to make sure that those who are joining us maybe for the first time today or were just not with us when we were beading those, I wanted to make sure that they can have a chance to catch up. So I have now a delica bead and an earring hook with a loop from the front to the back, and I want to show you that how do I add it. So I pick up 3 pieces of round 15ths, and then I bead through the earring hook from front to back. I pick up 3 more round 15ths, and I bead through the delica in the opposite direction. So now this loop of 6 seed beads and the earring, they are hanging to one side. And to even it out, I repeat, I bead back through all of the beads. So 3 seed beads, earring hook, 3 more seed beads, and I bead through the delica in the original direction. Now the loop is already holding my earring component in the right way, but I make an extra stitch, not only because I want to reinforce the thread pass, I also want to strengthen it still, but I bead it through the seed beads, earring hook, seed beads, and now I bead one more time through seed beads, earring hook, seed beads without crossing the delica. And this way I'm creating from the seed beads a teardrop shaped shape instead of a simple circle. So in my opinion, it is a tiny bit more elegant than without this extra stitch. And now I can continue, and I will now bead down to the bottom of the motif, and then I will attach the connector, and I will then just attach the PEAR to the connector by opening the loop at the bottom of the connector. So, ladies, I hope that you liked today's lesson, today's workshop. Please let me know if you have any questions left. I am happy to answer everything. I would like to mention that make sure to find the post about the Moroccan lamp, where you can comment where would you like to travel on your bead mat, and then maybe you will be the lucky winner who will receive the candle light holder or candle holder. So I will post it right away. And one more important thing, that we have openings to the Beading School Academy. So if someone got intrigued by getting inspired by different themes, receiving this beautiful collection of different components, beads and cabochons, then now it's the perfect time to do that. Not only we finally have some new spots available, but also if you do it now, then you will also receive this Beading School notebook for all your beady ideas. Maybe you can write down your progress into this, how we are exploring the different themes. So you can sign up at beadingschoolacademy.com if you would like to. Just don't hesitate long. So, if you don't have any more questions left, then I would love to thank for all your attention, for all the week, for all the inspiration and ideas and support that you are bringing to the Beading School Club. And I can't wait to show you the new Tulip Mania jewels next Tuesday at our usual time. Tomorrow, Andrea is waiting for you at the Beading School Academy lunch break or weekly socializing event. So, Sarah, you can actually ask Andrea tomorrow about the exact order, that how it's working, if you are curious. So she will be waiting for you at the same time as always tomorrow evening. And yeah, thank you so much, ladies, and take care, and wishing you a wonderful, peaceful weekend. Bye bye.